I'm Mike Hall, honorary Sergeant Major of the regiment, General King, honorary Colonel of the regiment, and so we help organize some of the things like this with all the benevolence. So I'll turn it over to Courtney in a second, but we were talking and we told her that we have done this cross. Really, this is the third one we've done. We did one last year. We did them a couple of years ago. Tony May and I sort of put them together, and purpose was just to cross brief each other so everybody knew what was going on, and when a ranger had something come up, you could get appointed to the right organization whose mission was to support them. And she'll introduce herself and tell you what she does, but she's basically the regiment's liaison with all the benevolence, so she'll ask us to put this on again. Two main speakers, one here and one there. If you're a speaker and you're not at the front table, whenever your turn, come up here and sit here to speak. And we had a lot of things going on, but we did the best we could as updates to the slides came in. So hopefully your slides are the same. The good news is Caroline will put together all the latest slides, and when it's just like we did last year, we'll email it out to everybody in a link, and it should be the right slides. And if it's not the right slides, let us know, and we'll get them reinserted so they're in there. So you can find again, we'll send the briefing to everybody. You can find the briefing, both the recording and a chapter version. What do you call that? So you can click on each individual organization instead of trying to scroll through and figure out where it is. So I will be the timekeeper, and I will gently nudge you and probably just cut you off at a certain point, 10 minutes, because we've only got so much time. People got things to do, and everybody's got a lot to say, but it's only fair to everybody else. So try to watch your time, and I'll try to let you know 1 minute or whatever. Try to wrap it up, because again, it's just fair to everybody else. So what else do I want to say? Anything admin or anything like that? Great, sir.
Oh, thanks for everybody for participating in this. I look forward to being updated and learning what all the great things you're doing, and obviously anything I can do for you in the circles that I travel around these days, just let me know. Thank you.
All right, I'll turn over to Courtney to introduce her team and more of the purpose of why we're doing this.
All right, I'm Courtney Sith. I am Ranger Regiment's Community Resource Coordinator, and I run the Spouses Sparta program, which is spouses partnering across Ranger to thrive and advance. I was originally hired for that position, just doing the Sparta stuff. I have an education background originally, but I've been a Ranger spouse for 16 years. We've been at all the locations, and it's been a very crazy experience. So I like being able to work with the ladies, but it's been fun to also add the benevolent side of everything into my position. Part of why I wanted to do this is to have a better understanding for myself of what each of the separate organizations does for a regiment, not even just the guys, but the spouse side of things and the kids and all of that. I know there are lots of scholarships and opportunities for the families. And especially now that I'm in this role, obviously, regiment impacts the entire family, not just the Rangers. So it's really exciting to be a part of this. I brought kind of a crew today. We've got a couple of the regimental chaplains with us. 375 and 175 SCB's chaplain is here. 275's chaplain isn't quite on the ground up there yet, so that's why he's not here. And then Armid's chaplain just PCS, so we're hoping to fill that soon. I have 56 Mike back there, and then we have the education ladies in the back corner, and then yes, they do wonderful things. And then I also have family programs and verses here working as well. Do you guys want names, or are we good? Mm-hmm. Do we need names for everybody, or are we good?
I think we're good.
We're good. Okay, good. So I look forward to hearing about everybody's organizations. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate this. I know it's a crazy week, so this is nice.
Yeah, you cut it off. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. Please.
All right. Next up, or first up, I guess I should say, is the 75th Ranger Regiment Association, followed by Lead the Way Fund. So, Rick, what was it? No, I think we can hear you from here.
All right, good afternoon, and Mike and team and all, thanks for putting this together. I can tell you as a president of the 75th Ranger Admin Association last year, hearing on the slides you used, that really benefited me as I'm trying to help out veterans or active duty guys quietly to point me in the right direction with a foundation or the type of help they needed. So I appreciate that very much. Rick Merritt, I'm the president of the 75th Ranger Admin Association. I've been that for a year. Before that, I was the first vice president and the second vice president and the unit director for the 1st Ranger Battalion. I got voluntold to do this by Terry Roderick after I retired, and I couldn't say no. So here I am. I'm not going to read all the slides on that there. You'll get packed on that. There's a lot of information for you to take home on that there. But as you can see, we are a nonprofit organization really working with preserving the history, tradition, and legacy of the 75th Ranger Regiment by helping out the camaraderie forged amongst the veterans and 75th and their families. We are not a foundation, and we do not try to be. We do not look at fundraising per se, other than our own operating costs, which a lot of that we get through our annual dues on that. This is our 40th year anniversary. We started in 1986, really founded by our wonderful Vietnam veterans, and we know the reception they had coming home and different than today, or even previous wars on that. So they've really been the forefathers of it. Our association includes all the way through Marauders, World War II Rangers, Korea, Vietnam, and the active duty or the modern Ranger Regiment since 1974 and beyond across that, and extends into their active duty veterans, families, Gold Stars are honorary members of it as well, and the family members can be associate membership as well. I would like to take a moment and point out to a young-looking gentleman back there, about 80 years old. I got our secretary, Tom, who was inducted Ranger Hall of Fame last year, who's been our secretary for 20 years, and he said he wants to get a younger man to do it. That could be a 70-year-old, I guess. So, Tom, thanks for that. Beside him was our publisher for just as long, Steve Johnson, a former president of our association and publisher of our patrolling magazine that you all may know and seen throughout the years that comes out quarterly. We've also added this into electronic versions as we're getting into towards the 22nd century now, not the 21st on there, moving right along on that. So thank you too for being here and all you've done for our association. Written by Rangers for Rangers, as we're talking about patrolling magazine right there, and you can see it's been out almost as long as we've been out there. So we also could publish stories in there. If any of y'all got any you'd like to put in there, please reach out to us so we see how we can get that in there. And the things that we do today, you see the programs, reunions, Ranger Hall of Fame support, Patrolling Magazine, historical preservation, membership services, memorial and remembrance effort, advocacy initiatives, Gold Star family support, scholarship funds, veteran networking and camaraderie. And a lot, I really like that last one on that. With all these here, as I said, we really look and see how we can look out when a ranger needs help. I direct him in the right direction for what that person needs. So thank you for all that you do for that. It helps very much coming from the years we was in a regiment, know that all you do for us. Where we're headed, again, I'm looking at the younger force on that. Unfortunately, no American riders left. World War II guys, I think we got 4 or 5 left right there. I've even had, unfortunately, our Vietnam guys dying, and even 74, as we lost our RSM Rackdown not too long ago on that. So to keep the preservation, keep it going, we have to bring in new blood and across that, and keep up with changing times and modern times, and knowing that, for example, most young men would rather use this than this when it comes to reading on there. So with that, a lot of ways to help them across that. The officers there, next slide, please. Our first vice president, Kurt Buka, but that's up for election that we'll announce here in 2 days. Our second vice president vacant. After our elections, I will announce. I could do for 1 year until we have a vote on the next mayor. And like I said, Tom should be secretary. We got our ranger buddy Sam. I butchered his last name there. Who will be the secretary, and our treasurer, another ranger veteran, Joe Pasalto, and all those guys, including our necessary, all veterans from the Ranger Regiment. You can see our unit directors there. I won't read them all, but a list of names you probably see across that. Now, I want to take a second and say I added something that really was a brainchild of Kurt Bucha and I talking, and that is, I was the unit director for 175. I live in Savannah. I could do a lot for them, even though most of my time is here at Benning. But I try to get unit directors that live near the battalion, makes it easy to support. The only one I wasn't able to do that with right now is you, Robert, former RSM that lives in Vegas. But he's got some assistants in there. Now, I was trying to keep track of 50 years of Rangers for the 1st Ranger Battalion. It's just too many of the veterans across that. And we started thinking, we saw our Vietnam Ranger companies had unit directors per company, and now we're starting that across that. That's helping. You know, across there, I got Duke Durkin, Charlie 175. Other guys like Mike Masson, I want to do it too. I like Duke beats you to it. So he's got several assistants. Even over 50 years, we're looking for arrows as his assistants so they can relate more, from Grenada to GWAP across that. So that's been a big help for us to get the word out, dissemination information, and keep in track with our formations. So a lot with that. You see a lot of pointed positions there, and I'd like to point out there, yes, Sam Charter is our patrolling editor right now, and Sam's also running for secretary, and he's a first bat veteran as well. I do have one paid position that we have with Chris Borelli, who is not a Ranger veteran, but he is really our webmaster and administrator and things like that. Everyone else is completely volunteer. Chaplain Dan Knight, which is a chaplain for a lot of people on that there. Praise the Lord, and a lot of us across here does great work for us, and appreciate that much. I'll close up and look at our gold stars. I shared the wealth across that, having, again, younger ladies, different ages on that there to associate, and with the recent adding of Tara Harris in there, her father Glenn Harris, who was killed in on a jump after Mogadishu. He was our first sergeant, got killed in a jump in Chattahoochee. One I add on there, I started a board of advisors of past presidents, Rick Barrera, Steve Johnson, Art Attaway. As we can also do lobbyists, I got Steve Johnson, who's working right now. We're making a lot of, almost finishing up here. We're almost complete on it, of having an honorary ranger tab going to our Vietnam Rangers who didn't have the chance to go, much like we did with what existed in, but World War II, Korea, and looking at it for Vietnam. Art Attaway is working on the Congressional Gold Medal for our Vietnam Ranger companies, much like we did with World War II, Mills Marauders, and Cree as well. And Art, and we're working some with senators up there, so we can do lobbying on that as well to help us get that pushed in Congress. And Rick Barrera, who works with our Ranger Hall of Fame as our representative and votes for us on it as well. Slide. All right, and again, I won't go into that, but our revenue is we're not fundraising, as we do it really just to keep our operating costs going, and a little bit we could do with for Christmas gift cards for Rangers and a Ranger scholarship, and just small amounts of money, $5,000 here, a couple thousand here, not to put out $100,000 if somebody needed that for a home or something, would go to the foundation. Slide. And reading up there, just a bond of Rangers. We want to make sure that it continues and to be the fraternity and the brotherhood of the regiment and their families, veterans. Any questions?
Ranger Lead the Way Fund. There you go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Celia. I've been with the Lead the Way Fund organization for 10 years. I am the development manager at the organization. Army Ranger Lead the Way Fund was started in 2007, so just about 20 years ago. We have invested over $21 million into the regiment, about $1.5 million every year. We've helped over 50,000 Rangers across multiple practical chaplain programs through CAF and GAF. We've built 4 handicapped accessible homes. We are available through our chaplains, the FERSAs, and the regiment education counselors. We work directly with everybody at the regiment to best guide the Rangers in any way that we can help them. We also work directly with the Terror Coalition program for anybody that is wounded, active duty, casualty, transition, all of that we handle on a first-hand basis. We assist with children's needs, any Ranger that has children's terror issues or anything like that. The organization started on Long Island, and that is where we have been now for 19 years. Our CEO's son was a Charlie Company Ranger at 375, and he was KIA on his 4th tour. And his parents noticed a lot of flaws in the system. And that is how Lead the Way Fund was built and formed and developed through all of these years. We are a small 5-person office that we all work together. There are 2 of our staff are here, Emily and Jess. And we all work together to build all of the programs, and we continue daily to work directly with the regiment, with counselors and everybody to give back the best that we can. We are the primary source of funding as the benevolent organization to the regiment, and we handle everything on a first come, first served basis. We are available for all of the needs that need to be met. Anybody have any direct questions? Really fast. Really fast. I just feel like it had it.
Steven's faster. Thanks for the opportunity and privilege to be here. My name is Brendan Dunn. I'm a board member. I'm also the TF Red or the Ranger Rep for Task Force 7294. 7294 was really the number it came from the amount of days that the JSOC Task Force or the Task Force Ranger was in Afghanistan. I think after looking at the number is probably not 100% accurate, but we'll keep that as a secret in this room. But it was founded by a bunch of intel professionals. The goal of the population that our leadership sought was to really service the intel professionals or those who directly supported the JSOC. Until we say SOCOM, but it's really the JSOC intelligence mission. Really from 9/11 all the way up until today, but we've now since expanded to pretty much anything since JSOC was in existence. Foundation itself is roughly 1,300 people strong. Rangers are by far the largest population that we serve. They're also the largest population that's active. We say 300 is probably about 400 active members right now. Our biggest pain point is actually the younger Rangers currently in the Ranger in my battalion. So the older ones, super active. Most of our leaders are guys who spend most of their career in the Ranger Regiment. It's really the younger ones that we're trying to connect with right now, which is a huge emphasis on it right now. You can read our mission. We're not here to compete with the other nonprofits. We're trying to complement what's out there. So kind of like what Sergeant Merit does, a lot of it is air traffic control. If there's an existing program or capability that's out there, a lot of times we're just through our subject matter expertise, just redirecting people to existing programs. Ones we are, we do put a huge emphasis recently is the scholarships. So even though each of the JSOC organizations has their own kind of like separate chapter across all the different services, we have 2 scholarships right now, and they both honor fallen Rangers. Lieutenant Colonel Nick Goshen, who spent a long time in the Ranger Regiment, who passed away in supporting the Ukrainian war when he was in Romania, and then Sergeant First Class Rodriguez, who was a Ranger OST or a Secondary, who passed away back in 2019. So this 7294 is only 2 years old right now, about 2.5 years old. So we're probably one of the newest organizations out there. Our scholarships we just awarded our second round of it. So not a huge lot of money, but it's 37,000 amongst resident recipients for people who applied. Most of the recipients are family members of people who serve in the Ranger Regiment. We had our first active duty person actually apply. We think there's a little bit of people either because of GI Bill or people they think are on active duty and have a lot of resources. We're not getting a lot of active duty people to apply. But either way, it's still going to serve a population that needs it. Our executive director is Sean Nolan, who's the RS2 a couple years before myself. Our deputy is Heather Wells, who spent a lot of time at JSOC headquarters in the JSOC Intelligence Brigade. And then how we're task organized for purpose right now is that each of the special mission units has kind of essentially their own chapter. So anybody who wants to apply, as long as they don't have to be an intel professional, as long as they've essentially provided some type of direct support for one of the JSOC task forces overseas, you can make a 7 lines of Kevin Bacon, say you made some type of contribution to it, that will obviously allow people to apply for the scholarships. You have to either be an intel professional or you have to be in active duty or somebody whose parent was the number of 7294. So we try to put some bounding box on there to make sure we don't have random people off the street try to apply for it. Again, the Rangers, even though we're the most active in the organization, we've had all the different organizations within SOCOM. Rangers actually are the fewest people who have actually applied for the program, which is kind of ironic. These are, we have 6 DC chapters right now, so we have people that represent the organization. Then we're also geographically based. So we have new chapters that are supporting each of the 6 locations right now. Our 3 big events that we do every year are Soft Week. So those aren't familiar, SoCon does this big tech conference once a year in May. So that's a huge gathering. We do AUSA. And then our 3rd big one is our gala that we do up in DC in the Army Navy Club. And that's what we essentially do. We fly in all the different scholarship recipients, and then we essentially award their award in person. It's kind of a black tie. That's pretty much it. One of our new programs is not my cancer. So again, we're not trying to compete with the existing cancer programs, but there is a niche. We've had a lot of a huge demand signal from existing members to add on top or complement existing cancer, cancer research, or doing things like full body MRIs. So we're looking right now. We're getting endowments right now to fund people who either don't have the means or people who really need it to do full body MRI for people who think there's a potential cancer diagnosis. A lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes, but that's kind of the 10-minute version. More than happy to answer your questions or whatever. Again, most of it, Rangers is the largest population here. We have expanded to the larger intelligence community, so we have people from all the different three-letter agencies as well. A very small subset, but growing. And then we're looking to bring in some of our Five Eyes partners as well, who obviously supported the SOCOM intelligence. Anyway. Obviously, for intel veterans out there, and I think you probably do. Just ask my own brain. RMED, the Local Guide Battalion S2 cell, does it cover one of them too? Yes, thanks, sir. Absolutely. So we're going to spend a lot of time trying to get one thing for us as we go forward from like a Ranger perspective is how we can do more interaction with the Ranger and my battalion. Again, leadership is great. Just trying to get some of the younger generation, kind of like going to leadership before, Sergeant Major, trying to get those people active. Not sure if it's just they think it's more like a retiree veteran type thing. They just like, I'm not there yet, or it's people like, you usually see a huge demand signal when people are getting ready to transition, whether it be through 3 Rangers, something like that. That's when we get a lot of people coming up. The Friends and Family Network is great, but it's really trying to target the younger Rangers before the transition we're trying to go after right now. So, anyway, we're not having to answer any questions, but appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys today.
Yeah, I really like this organization for a lot of reasons. Everybody knows Rangers are very, very joint, and everybody also knows that the center of the universe of our higher headquarters is the Ranger Regiment, and so this organization brings in a lot of other folks. So, I think everybody knows that that it's the finest light infantry in the world, but it's the intel, fires, medical, and staff work that the regiment does that makes it relevant. And so it's good to have organizations like this, and hopefully we get other organizations set up with those kind of specialties too. So, I speak for myself and Colonel King, just about everybody. That this is another organization that just doesn't matter how a Ranger gets taken care of. It just matters that he gets taken care of himself. What I like about organizations like this, we're looking for more like this. So, Carl Monger, Ranger buddy, everybody who's reading.
It's an honor to be here. My name's Carl Monger. It was an honor to serve with several Rangers in the 1900s that are in this room, and it's an even bigger honor to be here with all of you. When I look around and I see the organizations represented, the things that you all do for the Ranger community, it's absolutely incredible, and it's amazing to be a part of it. GallantFew is an organization that was formed in 2010. We have 3 main missions: connecting, coaching, counseling veterans, ultimately to move them towards lives of hope and purpose. The first C is connection. The RHOF here is a huge example of connection locally. We also provide support to the Active Duty Ranger Regiment in terms of Ranger for Life. And we've got Ranger Spouse Yoga. We've got a bunch of local events that happen here. The second C is coaching. We built our coaching methodology on 2 things. The first one is called Subconscious Restructuring. It's a 3-hour workshop that we do online. Everything that we do is free for any veteran, for any Ranger and their families. That subconscious restructuring workshop is kind of the ground. It's like an entry level into clinical counseling. A lot of people that go through that don't need to move into clinical counseling because it helps resolve some of their issues. The second big piece of that is done here at the RHOF. Tony does a lot of in-person transition briefings with Rangers that are stationed here at Benning. and he's especially focused on financial literacy and spiritual fitness. By the way, Tony Main is in Kenya with his family. They're on a mission trip right now, and he sends his regards. He regrets that he's not able to be here, although he's having a great time. The third C is clinical counseling. I'm licensed in Texas and Colorado as a licensed professional counselor. I'm waiting on my background check to come back from Georgia, so I'll be licensed here. I'm pretty confident I'm going to pass, but I'm just waiting on the fingerprint results to come back. Then I'll be able to be a handoff resource for Regiment. If there are any Rangers that are getting licensed counseling through a regimental resource and they're leaving the military, I can take care of them seamlessly. What we don't want is for them to go into the VA black hole and wait 6 months to get a mental health appointment after they get out. Last year, 2025, 1,500 served, 500 plus events here at the RHOF. We're on pace to exceed that this year. And we are, for the most part, complete private donations. We have a couple of grants that help us do some counseling in the Texas area, but every place else is all donations. Anybody have any questions for me? Thank you.
GallantFew's been doing a lot of things for a lot of years. My perspective, anyway, the biggest thing they get is I get a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails with guys that are struggling for whatever reason, and between Dan Knight and Carl's network and Dan's network, we can usually talk people down on to get that assistance they kind of need, and they're very, very good at finding the right organization, get them, because when you have issues, it's finding an organization that you trust, and when you find an organization or someone that you trust, you can tell them what your real issue is, and if you know what the real issue is, then you can solve it. So it's a great organization. People don't hear about, and sort of like our legal network that's sort of underground, but when somebody needs help, there's a bunch of Rangers out there to do it. So thanks, Carl, for all you've done for all these years.
Thanks, Mike.
I think Dan Mead, you're gonna bring.
Sir, yes, sir. Sergeant Major, how you doing today?
Good.
Good, Duke. Dan sent apologies. Yes.
Yes. Carl,
Can you hear me?
Your cellular.
Hello?
You're all good. Yes, sir.
Okay.
No. Yes, sir.
Duke sends his apologies. He's
Yes.
undisposed at the moment. He was trying to get on here, but he has another meeting he had to attend to. So this year we celebrated our 5th year as the Hardrock Foundation at our summit. Slide, please. Hardrock Charlie serves the regiment. It's the name's Hardrock Charlie because Charlie Company guys started it. That's it. We serve the whole regiment, families, spouses, kids, to connect them to resources. We're part of the Ranger Scholarship Fund now, helping out with scholarships. We were able to help Charlie Company 175 put on their Christmas party this year. We do Reads Across America is one of our events that we do. South Week we went down to. What we really focused on when we started was the families and the spouses. So we have a whole different part of it. It's Sisterhood of the Scroll, and the ladies have monthly meetings and really brought them into the fold for what we're doing. Slide, please. So membership group. Nope. One back.
What delay?
Yeah, membership growth from 2001 when we started. We're up 400%. 59% summit attendance up from last year. We've been able to give $45,000 back directly to Rangers and their families. And we try to do the hit time for 18 hours. Once we get a message of need or assistance, we're on it within 18 hours. We're a small foundation. We're able to move quickly, and we wrote our bylaws so that we can do lots of different things. Slide, please. So we have people with mental health services that we can put them in through. We have assisted Ranger spouses and Rangers getting mental health services. Crisis response. Families never suffer alone. We go to funerals. We help out with whatever we can. We've helped Rangers kids, Jimmy Markwell, actually, his daughter and granddaughter had to do some emergency travel, so we were able to help out with that, along with the assistance from Sheila. Thanks, Sheila. We honor our fallen. We do the scholarships, and we're trying to keep the young ones getting involved. Right? Fortunately, we just had a guy got out ETS the end of April. We had him at our summit. He's been a couple times, and now he's our sergeant at arms. So we're trying to really bring that impact with the young guys in, as we all see from everything, right? American Legions, everything it's dying. Everything's on the computer. Nothing's face to face anymore. So very important that we get these guys in, and we're finding that between 5 to 10 years until they start wanting to come back. Yeah, that's they need to take a break for a little bit. So we're starting to pull them back in, which is good. Slide, please. So year 1 to 2, we laid the foundation, built trust. 3 to 4 was organic growth, and year 5 we're starting on our walk to run impact. Right, we're crawl, walk, run. Right, just like we learned. Our growth is going well. We'll have a new website coming up shortly, and that's what we do. We help out anybody that we think needs help or that comes to us for help, and we again every battalion, regiment, everybody. And we're starting this year. We're going to try to get liaisons from the different battalions to come in on us. There's no sense in people starting their own company foundations when we already got it going. We can just build off of this. Slide, please. That's it. 5 years down, up and running, ready to go. Anybody have any questions for us?
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks for your time.
All right, next up, Sua Sponte Foundation. Sheila Dudley, I think, is going to brief for us, who's raised me and General Keene and Rick and Dennis and Carl and about everybody else in this room that
that's enough. That's enough.
First Imperial Ranger Battalion. You're up, Sheila.
I had to revert from computer to iPhone, so can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. And thank you for that introduction, Mikey. You and I have been together a lot of years, and we've had our struggles with those people you mentioned. Who we are, Sua Sponte. I was waiting on Rick to comment. We were established in 2010. And our primary cause or objective at that time was to maintain the 1st Ranger Battalion Memorial. Since then, we've grown into kids scholarships. This year, we were able to process 15 of our 175 kids in private or homeschooling. We continuously try to assist on a short-term timeline. We get word of a need, and within 3 hours we voted and decided what we need to do, and we think that's a pretty good timeline for support. Our mission is the next slide. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering because I don't have my notes in front of me. Our mission is to support the immediate and urgent needs of the Ranger families during times of crisis. And as I said, we pride ourselves on being able to get to a solution within a few hours by either a verbal over the phone vote or in written. So our board is 15 members, but we have a 3-member distro committee who is our quick response team. Our mission, we maintain the memorial and we improve it every year. We are now have permission from the post to add our flag at the memorial site, which we think that's wonderful. We got an exemption to have a second flag on the installation. We support cohesiveness. We enjoy supporting the marathons. The guys, they'll get teams of a marathon and we'll outfit them, support them, take them on trips to the Hawks games, anything that we think is going to provide some type of rest and relaxation for them. We have recently purchased 130 acres in Sylvania, Georgia, which is less than an hour from Hunter, and we have a ranger retreat there. There's a fishing pond, there's a 4-bedroom home, and I recently made friends with a contractor who is converting our pole barn into a bunkhouse, which will accommodate a squad. And Ashley Furniture, I have to give them kudos. I'm kind of the clinger of 1st Ranger Battalion. If there's something there we need, I'm going to ask, and I'm going to keep on till I get it. So, but I wrote to Ashley Furniture and asked for 4 sleeper sofas for our new bunkhouse, and those were delivered last week to our good friends Thompson and Thompson here in Savannah. They're housing them until our bunkhouse gets completed. Next slide, please. What we do, I think I've already covered that. We provide support for the wounded fallen rangers to cover any special needs they have. If their home needs an upgrade to accommodate an injury, if they need to travel somewhere for medical assistance, if their family needs it, we handle the travel and the logistics. Next slide, please. Our board of directors, we've increased it from 13 to 15, and it's comprised of former Rangers and local civilians who not necessarily have served, but have the heart for the duties. August the 1st is our next election period. Our current president, excuse me, is Jim Brunton, but we will have new elections in August, so stay tuned for that. Next slide, please. Our memorial. We love our memorial, and we constantly try to maintain it to the quality and the integrity it deserves. The memorial is dedicated to those who have lost their lives in combat or training since 1974. We don't like to add names, but we honor those that are there, and we always welcome the Gold Stars. We, if they don't have the funds to come and visit, we will pay their way to come and visit. We've had numerous Gold Stars that have wanted to see the memorial, and that was the only way they could, was to be financed, and we are proud to do it. Next slide, please. Sua Sponte Ranch. Let me tell you about the ranch. I was assigned the duty of finding a property, and when I pulled through the gate at that property in Sylvania, it was like a deep breath, you're home. When you, for those of you who have visited, you will attest to the serenity there, the comfort there, the woods, the pond. We almost lost our pond this past drought season, but we had a well dug, and that was actually some people at Gulfstream who decided to come out and dig it for us for free. As I said, we're in the process of constructing the bunkhouse, which will accommodate 12. So the ranch is spectacular. I hope you all get a chance to visit. We are going to have a new grand opening when the bunkhouse, and that picture doesn't do it justice right there. It's a wonderful location and a wonderful community. The mayor, the sheriff, the roads person, I've talked to all of them, and they have bent over backwards to accommodate us and fix the roads, welcome us to the community. And I think that's all I have. Next slide. Sua Sponte Bourbon. we got together, did a lot of testing, and came up with Sua Sponte bourbon. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just letting you know it competes with the big boys. We are currently in the Hunter Army Airfield Class 6, and the shopette is also at Fort Stewart, and a couple of stores in South Carolina, and also in Pooler at Liquorland and Parker's Liquor. So we are out there. If you come to Savannah or you come to Georgia, South Carolina, look for our brand. We're very proud of it. I think you'll enjoy it. And all the money goes back to 175 for morale support. Next slide, please. Fundraisers. We currently have a golf tournament fundraiser coming up September the 27th. You'll see the poster, the flyer posted all over our website. And then in October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we're having a 3-day multi-gun shoot with our brother facility, which is called Operation Forward Operating Base, which is in Ridgeland, South Carolina. It's a bunch of Marines, but we don't hold that against them. But they do fantastic community work, and we've joined with them, and we swap facilities, and the camaraderie is great. And I think that's all I have. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I do have a comment from people like Dennis Smith. It is a hunter's mecca at the Sua Sponte Range on there, so a lot of boys already use it for hunting. Cool.
So for Dennis, they're all in a cage so we can get them.
That's it.
Yeah. Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Pointe du Hoc Foundation, and former RSM Inman couldn't be here because I think he's sort of busy. But so I'll brief. I'm sort of familiar with the organization a little bit. Slide.
Okay.
Lost it.
Me too.
So there it is. Yeah. So obviously it's named after the World War II Ranger assault, and when they scaled the cliffs of Pointe du Hoc and spearheading the D-Day landing. It's a 501c3 organization that supports 2nd Ranger Battalion and their families, similar to what Sua Sponte does for 1st Battalion. Their mission is to honor the courage, fortitude, and selfless sacrifices of the 2nd Ranger Battalion and their families, cultivate relationships with friends and supporters of 2nd Ranger Battalion, like you heard Sheila just describe. It's the same thing up there in the SeaTac area with supporters and a very tight organization up there. They do a lot of benevolent support through different fundings, counseling, employment assistance. Again, if you stick around 2nd Ranger Battalion, you're always going to be part of that family up there. And if you're not a 2nd Battalion Ranger and you haven't been up there, it's a wonderful. It's more of a memorial, more than a memorial. I'd say it's part of the battalion footprint there. It's really well done, just like 1st Battalions, and so they do some fundraising to support the Rangers, to support the memorial. Again, they support the chaplain and the family support group and other battalion events, and very, very well, just like Sua Sponte, tied in with 2nd Ranger Battalion and everything they do and however they can support it. They also do a scholarship that they do through the Ranger Scholarship Fund. Steve's going to brief us on that. Another organization that goes through them, and they actually have a couple scholarships up there. But it's another organization that whenever I get a call or an email or something, and somebody needs some kind of assistance, whatever it may be, and he's a veteran of 2nd Ranger Battalion, I call Randy and they figure it out, and they've figured out everything that we've ever sent them. So another great organization, and that's really about it for Pointe du Hoc. Anybody got anything to add or any questions? All right. Next up is where you support.
That was too fast. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Dennis Smith. I'm the co-founder and vice president for Darby's Warrior Support. And as you can see there, our mission is to provide physically and emotionally injured post 9/11 special operators. So our primary focus is with the Ranger Regiment, but we also span out for all of special operations and all branches. So Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, MARSOC, everybody's there. We bring them guys in. Mainly, it's exclusively hunting in Arkansas and fishing outdoor opportunities, and it encourages and fosters rehabilitation, recovery, and transition. Is kind of what we started this thing as. Next slide, please. Our objectives, basically, it's some guys who serve some hard times and get the bands back together and check on each other. Is kind of what it has evolved into. We provide a safe place for like-minded people. We all know how we like to hang around with people that thinks like us. We don't get along very well with people who have not shared some hard times or can relate to things we do. It's a place to come and have honest and candid conversations or not. If you don't feel like that you need to, you don't have to. However, I'll tell you most times, get into it just a little bit more in a minute, but guys come in on a Friday. The biggest thing is we want to bring guys, we'll pick one guy, let him bring 4 to 7 guys with him that he has shared some hard times with, that he may not have seen in a while, and kind of get that party back together. It's amazing what happens on Saturday night, around the fire pit after dinner, after a good day's hunt, and they just kind of open up. So the or not normally happens. It's really pretty magical. It's a world-class experience, and we got a new chef, and everything that's come in is actually way bigger than this old redneck ever thought I was going to see. Next slide. So we started out and as duck, goose, deer hunting from mid-October through February. We typically host 6 to 8 people. We bring them in on a Friday. We'll hunt them on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and Monday morning, and then they'll leave after breakfast on Monday. We invite one person, as I said, and they can bring from 5 to 7 guys or gals that they have served with during the GWAT. We focus mainly on post-GWAT combat veterans. All required equipment is provided. You don't need any experience. You don't need anything to show up. Just get there, and we're going to take care of you. We got chow's prepared by a new culinary chef, and she is amazing. The only cost to the individual is to travel. We'll reimburse the travel if it's by ground, but we make the guys buy their fishing license or hunting license, depending on what they're doing. That's about $130 that they've got in it, and that's just so they do have skin in the fight. Because what we've had before is if we bought the license, like for you, and then the last minute you can't show up, I don't get that money back, and this guy got to buy another license for now. So just give me a little skin in the fight. It makes you hold to the schedule just a little bit better for us. That's really all they got to provide. Next slide, please. So this is kind of how it all started in the new chapter. So 2025, we just opened the Patriot Outpost. So all this started in 2007. We had kind of a vision of what we wanted to do. If you look at some of the videos of the YouTube videos, it says one morning over breakfast, but one night, it was really one night around the fire pit with some Sua Sponte bourbon. And we decided that what we were doing was worth others coming. So this all started out with 5 of us in 2002 making a boomerang trip to Arkansas for a duck hunt after coming back from deployment. And then many deployments later, we kind of made it a pilgrimage for us 5 to go to Arkansas and hunt. And that 10th year, again, we were sitting around, we're like, this is magic, and we need to share this with somebody else. It got more than us going out there and killing ducks, because we had all grown up in the regiment and the Army at that point and had numerous more deployments at that time. And it was more or less checking on our buddies than it was about the ducks. Now, the ducks got more plentiful, and we got to shooting better, and it was a lot more fun, but that was the gist behind it. So we wanted to share that. So we started a capital campaign
in 22. And in June, we opened our new Patriot Outpost. And it's a 10,000 square foot lodge with 10 bedrooms, 10 baths, sleeps 23. Beautiful pavilion and 2 fire pits, pistol ranges, rifle ranges, clay ranges, 8-acre pond that we've stocked, and we just put 350 more bass in it 2 days ago with a professional chef. I can't say how good Chef Heather is. Tailor the events and scale the pricings. What we're looking for now is more so than just the hunting. So like from November to mid-February, the lodge is kind of dedicated to the hunting season. But what we're looking for now is from that, mid-February to September timeframe. The lodge is open for single soldier retreats, marriage retreats, like some of the special forces units. We've had a unit come there and kind of do a leaders retreat, if you will, commanders conferences, that kind of stuff. So it works out really well, and everything is taken care of. So if it's a corporate event, so if you got a corporate event that wants to come there, like Bandit has come, with the National Wildlife Turkey Federation, people come. Obviously, their price is a little bit higher than what it would be for the veterans. If we got veterans that's coming in, it's basically going to cover our costs, and we've kind of mirrored that with per diem. So whatever per diem costs, just so we can get our money back. We did raise enough money. It's all 100% paid for. $2.5 million place that we was able to build and it's paid for, but we still got to pay the bills to keep the light on each month. So we figure that we need about $500,000 a year to do that, and all of that is 100% donations. Next slide, please. This is what it looks like now. You got the beautiful lake and the Patriot Outpost, the clay range, and the pistol range there. And next slide, please. I've got, you got any questions? I've got some cards and pamphlets here. I'd be more than happy to ask any questions. If there's any now, I'd be happy to answer them. Dan Knight ran a marriage retreat for us out there. Great place to do things like that. Big shout out to Sean Dan, who some of you don't know, but a message from him is get checked, get checked, get checked. We're all that age, and a lot of us actually been through some stuff too. But Sean just getting through some stuff, so nobody's invincible, and so get yourself checked out. And a lot of good organizations out there, a lot of good ranger and software organizations can help us build that out too. So, Trent, I think you're up next, buddy.
My name is Trent Petty. I'm the executive director of the National Ranger Association. Real quick to caveat off the cancer getting checked. There is an organization out there called Hunter 7 that will test for your cancer for free, and then will help pay for it. Also, we're looking to have them out at Best Ranger next year, so that anyone that's attending Best Ranger can get checked while out. So trying to bring everybody where all the rangers are at, and just bring the testing to them next year. They're also at AUSA, SHOT Show, those events. And they have testing set up for that too. So just a little caveat on that. Hunter 7, you can look them up, go to the website. They'll send you a kit to get your blood test and send it back, and then they'll take care of you from there. So just real quick about the National Ranger Association. We're a 501c3. We kind of work a lot out of the Airborne Ranger Training Brigade. That's why I was late today. We're having a change of command over at 507th. I had to dip out of. I took over a little over a year ago. We're not a membership organization. We just have a board of 5. The current president is Kurt Arnold, who will probably be leaving within the next 6 months. And I'll update you on who the next president will be. With that, the Best Ranger competition, my first year I took over 8 weeks before the competition. Did my best to drag it across the finish line, but this last year was my graded patrol. So this year we tried to make Best Ranger a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and also better for the community. So with that being said, if you did attend Best Ranger, a lot of the organizations would definitely pay off coming to Best Ranger. On day 2, we do a vendor setup, and that's just a vendor setup. All my vendors come out, they have fun. It's a huge event, and it's a chance for associations that do need members and want to get connected to the younger community to come up, set up a tent, set up a table, to get that younger community more involved. And me, I just retired out of the Army in 2024, so younger community, something I'm really focused on, trying to get more involved myself. This year on day 2, we're going to do another vendor setup. It's for all the sponsors, and then we'll work something out for the associations if we need to. This year is going to be a very big I know it's early till next year, but next year's best Ranger Day 2 is going to be probably pretty big. I've had our social media reached over 30 million views in just the months of April and May both, and now we're averaging about 5 million views a month right now. The National Ranger Memorial will collab with us on Post a lot. If any of you associations would like to collab on Post, feel free to shoot us the collaboration link. And we don't have members, so we're not out there hunting for members. But if you're trying to get more linked in with the younger community, that's kind of our main thing right now, is getting people more involved. Because at the end of the day, Best Ranger Competition is the largest platform for the Ranger community, recruiting and trying to get people, to visually get excited to come. Can't tell you the amount of stories I've heard of people that just this year we had our raffle winner. We paid for the person that won the raffle to come out and experience Best Ranger as a donor and have that experience. Come to find out, that kid was a senior in college at Texas Longhorns. He was actually an ROTC cadet who started watching Best Ranger 10 years ago. And he commissioned last month to be a infantry officer, and hopefully one day he said he wants to be in the regiment. So just little stories like that of people that Best Ranger has tied them to the Ranger community and got them excited to come into the Ranger community. My contact information is on the slide. You can email me, which I actually got to update the email, so that email forwards to my email, but my email gets really backlogged. My phone number hasn't changed in 20 years. I try to answer as fast as I can on text message. So feel free to reach out anytime if you're ever looking for support. As we grow and as we make Best Ranger bigger and we dump more money back into the community, one thing we definitely just want to help is to continue to help other organizations also grow. We also run the Ranger Graduation Store. I've offered this to organizations all the time. We don't have members, but you guys do. If you would like to set up a pamphlet at the Ranger Grad Store, everybody that graduates Ranger School will see those pamphlets. It's a chance just to get your information and your name out there. We offer to set it up. I think Ranger Memorial came up and set up for a few times. It's out there if you'd like to send me that, and we'll put your information out there, QR codes, anything like that, to kind of drive people your way. We also host the Black and Tan Social along with USARA while we're out in Vegas. This year was a pretty fun one. Had a pretty good turnout. A lot of the guys came and told me as more of the younger community came out than previously, so that was exciting. And then also we do the Black and Tan here locally the week of Best Ranger, just to try to get the younger guys out to come and meet the vendors and set up and come have a good time. So this year's Black and Tan here in Columbus was twice as big as the first one we ever did, so I only see it growing every year. So we'd love to have all you guys out. Come out. It's a fun weekend. It's a good chance to tie in with the local Ranger community when they come out. And right now, with Regiment winning 6 years in a row and sweeping first, second, third this year, it just keeps getting better. So that's all we got. If anybody has any questions, please take my contact. Reach out at any time.
Okay, next up, the National Ranger Memorial Foundation. Blair?
Yes, sir. First off, I want to thank Mike and the other organizers for inviting us to this briefing and the opportunity to share what the National Ranger Memorial Foundation does. My name is Blair Brown, and I serve as their executive director. Next slide, please. National Ranger Memorial, it's in proximity. It's located at Fort Benning, of course. It's adjacent to IMCO. It was established in 1992. Currently, we have about 7,000 Ranger stones, past and present. And we also have Ranger history era markers. It's really to preserve U.S. Army Ranger lineage for many generations. And we've been serving the Ranger community for 34 years. Next slide, please. We have two missions. First off, we maintain, preserve, and improve the National Ranger Memorial, the permanent home of Ranger heritage at Fort Benning. And then also we provide college scholarships to Ranger families, investing in the next chapter of every Ranger story. Next slide, please. We also stand as a distinguished symbol of excellence, honoring the valor, sacrifice, and enduring legacy of the Ranger community. The memorial hosts the final picture of the annual Best Ranger Competition award, and the winners each receive a stone at the Ranger Memorial. We also support Best Ranger Competition, and I'd like to encourage all the other organizations in the room to do the same. Trent has really taken it to the next level And I think it's just a great opportunity to host your organization on a national platform. Next slide, please. So we're as Trent mentioned, we try to be at the Ranger graduations to provide support. Speaking of Ranger graduations, we also provide a stone at the memorial for each class's distinguished honor graduate. Next slide. In 2025, we provided. Next slide, please. In 2025, we provided. I'm sorry, Carolyn, we go back one. I messed up. The one thing I want to express to you all today, this is your Ranger Memorial. We have a lot of ceremonies there, and I encourage you, if you'd like to have your event there, just get in touch with me and we'll reserve it for you. Sorry, Carolyn. Next slide, please. In 2025, we provided $50,000 in college scholarships. We had 66 recipients, and we've distributed $925,000 since 1992. Universities these recipients attend are both local and national. Next slide, please. 2026, we received the most applications in the history of the foundation, 104. We've experienced 160% growth in the last few years. The board will meet on Friday and we'll determine our 2026 disbursement. And I'm expecting it to be anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000, and hopefully it'll put us over the $1 million mark. Next slide, please. Okay. So we restructured our board in April of this year and streamlined it. And as you can see, we have a board of directors, an advisory board, and standing committees now. Next slide. We restructured it really for three reasons. The first is we needed to streamline our leadership. It's a leaner board with clearly defined roles, and it enables us to make faster decisions and direct accountability for results. It also is enabling us to grow our reach and effectiveness and sharpen focus and expanded impact across every operating area, the memorial specifically, scholarships, and outreach in the Ranger community. And then the last one is to collaborate across the Ranger community. We want to partner more closely with all of our brother Ranger organizations, and we're in it for the good of the entire Ranger community. And then lastly, our main goal is to have a stronger foundation to serve the Ranger community. Next slide, please. I'd like to share with you our board of director members. General Burris is our chairman. I'm the executive director. Molly Stringham is our secretary. John Nethercutt is our treasurer. Mike Kelso is our scholarship chairman. Max Mullen is a director. Tom Sider is a director. And then I think Travis is here. He is our legal advisor, as he's probably the legal advisor for a lot of organizations. Next slide, please. I'd like to share with you just a few initiatives we've supported recently. As I mentioned, we supported the Best Ranger competition. We also are a firm believer in supporting the infantry ball. We sponsored a table there, and we'll be doing the same thing for the Doughboy Awards in September. And next slide, please. And for the very first time, we made the lottery, and we'll be an exhibitor at the USA National Conference in Washington, D.C. So if you're up there, please come by and say hello. We're very excited about that. Next slide, please. I wanted to share a little bit about our marketing and outreach. From January to May, we've had 8.8 million impressions. We have about 21,000 followers, and our digital footprint has doubled since this time last year. And I say all this to express to everyone that we want to promote other Ranger organizations. So Molly Stringham's information's at the bottom. Mine is going to be on the following page. I just encourage you to reach out. We want to help collaborate. We'll help you every way we can spread your message. Next slide, please. I want to thank you all again for this opportunity. My contact information is here on the screen, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. A couple of things he said that sort of triggered some things. One, prior to about 6 or 7 years ago, every Ranger Association sort of did their own thing. There's a lot of infighting. Some of us old guys definitely remember that. you know, as we've gotten together, you know, there's been a lot of cross-pollination. Travis is a great example. Travis serves on several of the Ranger organizations, which strengthens all the organizations. Dan Knight's another one. I serve on several organizations, so it's great that, you know, again, what's best for the Rangers, you know, and it also points out it's sort of a family business. I served with Blair's dad long time ago. Molly Stringham was her dad was a battalion commander who to this day claims that Corporal Hall did not throw him out of the bear pit, but we all know but you know, but it's you know, but it's you know, if you're not subscribed to their newsletter, please do. I mean, we try to pride ourselves on watching everybody's newsletters and what's going on, and you know, if people got raffles going on or they got events or golf tournaments, you know, and putting it on social media and in our newsletters and stuff. But nobody does a better job than, I guess, Molly deserves most of the credit of you know, having a great newsletter that you know, really shows what's going on for the Ranger community out there. So they do a wonderful job and of doing that. So I'm, as a guy who's been working, we've been asked by the regiment a long time ago to try to bring the organization together. Very proud of that organization, that's for sure. Ooh, I'm up next. Watch. That means you know, our JTACs and our Air Force brothers and our Intel people, you know, folks that support us when we're deployed, you know, they're all part of our family. And what we try to do is provide the best experts advice and assistance in every aspect of the transition journey. We were asked several years ago, back in 2018, I was asked to sort of stand up this Ranger for Life program. Luckily, there was a guy named Tony Main who had a concept that he had stood up a long time ago. So again, we were asked to stand up the Ranger for Life program. The regiment recognizes that if you want to recruit and retain the best people, you got to invest in them. And that investment means that when, you know, everybody gets out of the Army, so you should set them up for success whenever they get out of the Army. And that's what the Ranger for Life transition program is. We do the Three Rangers Foundation slide. Three Rangers Foundation does the bulk of that. We have counselors at each of the locations. Tony Main here at Fort Benning, and most of the guys go through the Rock. Talks to all those guys. We have a retired Sergeant Major out at 1st Battalion who talks to all the transitioning Rangers out at Hunter, and Ned Longoria out at 2nd Battalion, who works with all the 2nd Battalion guys that are transitioning out in the Army. They take everybody through it. The regimental memorandum for record says that every Ranger, when he's within 18 months of getting out of the Army, is supposed to go talk to our counselors, and whether he's made the decision to get out or not, because it's really a check on life. You know, here, you know, you're going to get out of the Army one day. You know, hopefully you and hopefully your spouse or your significant other will come in there, and they'll talk to them about education. Work very close with the education counselors. They'll talk to them about financial wellness. You know, once, you know, basically we've developed a basic financial readiness brief, which doesn't tell you about stocks and bonds, but it tells you about what financial wellness really is. And basically takes you, you know, one day you're going to be 66 and a half, and sort of takes you back and you know, tries to impress that on folks. Maybe the most significant part of the program is we've developed a relationship with the Wounded Warrior Project with their veteran service officers. And the Wounded Warrior Project also works with the medical personnel at the Ranger Regiment to make sure that guys' medical records are VA ready. You know, so that's been very successful, the coordination to do that. And they'll take them through the process, whether it's called BDD, benefits due at delivery. And so basically every Ranger will walk out of the Army, and 30 days later he'll be drawing his VA benefits. You know, the measure of effectiveness is sort of, you know, the feedback we get from the Rangers is, wow, this was a whole lot easier than we thought it was, number one. And number two, very few of them do appeals. So they do it right the first time. So, you know, very successful. And it's, you know, if you're getting out of the Army and you know, it's a nice platform to stand on, knowing that 30 days after you're out, you know, you're drawing your VA disability. So that's pretty cool, and it's really important for families. Most of the guys would be up over the magic number where they'll be able to draw VA
healthcare, and that's another huge part of financial wellness. So it reduces a tremendous amount of stress. And we also talked about fitness and wellness, but the bulk of the program is really the mentorship program. And we have a network of about 1,600 former Rangers, and we'll sit down and we'll talk to a guy and we'll say, hey, what do you want to do when you get out, whenever that is? And they'll say, well, I want to join the FBI. We'll go, great, and then we'll link them up with former Rangers that are in the FBI. We'll also link them up with guys in the DEA, with the Marshal Service, with the diplomatic security, everything that sort of kind of has to do, or personal security, everything that has to do with that kind of realm, because there's two phases to it. We want the Rangers to talk to people well before they get out to help them figure out what they want to do first, so they don't go down a road and realize, man, this ain't what I thought it is. And as we all know, Rangers are brutally honest. Where's Travis? Are you in here? We got a lot of Rangers that got to get out and want to become attorneys, and we got a couple of attorneys. When Rangers call them, their first answer is what? You don't want to be an attorney. So they get the good, the bad, and the ugly out of it. Same thing with guys. We get a lot of guys that went out and want to be doctors and things like that. They'll still make the decision, but they need to hear those kind of things. And so it'll help them decide, what they want to do. A lot of guys get out and they want to go into IT or cyber. If you watch the news, the bottom fell out of that housing market about 2 years ago. But, every Ranger that comes through our program that wants to get into cyber IT, he's going to get hooked up, because there's a Ranger there's always jobs out there. It's all about networking. And so, the Rangers would get hooked up. Our education counselors, do a great job on preparing guys for education. Because of the regiment program with education, not only the officers, but a lot of enlisted guys are getting out, and they're not only either finishing college or they're going into graduate degrees. Getting into getting into any graduate program, and I'm looking for I think they're gone now. But getting into any graduate program is like getting a job. The colleges are looking for certain things. They're looking for things on the resume. They're looking for things during the interview process, because they're looking for people that are going to be successful. So they'll talk to former Rangers that have been through the program, and they'll say, I'm not sure how I got in this program, but here's my resume. So they'll gather 5 or 6 resumes from Columbia, and they'll look at it and they go, oh, and I can put my resume together. And they're going to go through an interview process, and they'll be, the Rangers will tell them, okay, here's the interview process. Here's the questions I got asked. Here's the answers I get. So they're very prepared. The success rate of guys getting accepted to any program is well over 90%. And okay, Rangers are smart, and colleges are sort of kind of looking for those kind of guys, but knowing what to expect, makes them really, really prepared. So, not only is it great for getting guys hooked up into whatever job they want to get into, but it's also great to, make sure guys are successful. And there's a ton of programs out there to help people, besides GI Bill, as the education counselors tell you, and what we try to tell people is figure out how to get somebody else to pay for your education. And there's a lot of organizations out there that help them do that. So, in a nutshell, that's the mentorship program. Again, it's formally it's about 1,600 folks. It's really about 10,000, because we'll hook up. It's the network of networks. It's effective. We'll hook up a Ranger with 40 or 50 guys that he'll be able to talk to, and then everyone he talks to has got a network of 4 or 5 other guys, other former Rangers. That'll help him get hooked up to whatever he wants to do. They'll get 2 sets of Rangers. They'll get Rangers on wherever they want to move to, so they'll have Ranger buddies around them, to help them, get back home, and then, whatever industry they want to get into to get hooked up. But it's really over 10,000. I can honestly say we have never had a Ranger come through the program where we haven't been able to find mentors. Yes, we have astronauts. Yes, anybody familiar with ID Me? It's a Ranger started that organization. They're everywhere. Not to mention, the very, very successful people doing great things out there. And most organizations that get one Ranger get another. That's another great thing with the graduate programs is, a lot of the elite graduate programs, the veteran organizations all seem to be run by Rangers. So it's very, very successful there. So, some testimonials there. And the last thing I'll say is, you know, a lot of us talk about, you know, mental health. A lot of people touch on that. You know, what the transition program tries to get, you know, we try to get left of boom. If you know, the three biggest factors on, you know, guys that aren't successful after they get out is they have a bad transition. The program takes care of that. They have financial problems, you know, having VA already there for you, making sure you walk out of the Army and walk into a job, you know, sort of takes care of that, and relationship problems. And, you know, most people get out and they disconnect from the regiment because they're doing their things. Guys that are still wearing the uniform, they're doing their own kind of thing. So the mentorship program has closed that gap where they don't lose that connection with Rangers anymore. It's a new set of Ranger buddies, you know, but it's, you know, they got people that can talk to that they can understand it. So we really haven't had anybody go through the program that's really had issues. So is it a mental health program? The answer is not formally, but yeah, it is, because they know that there's a system there. They know it's the Ranger for Life program. And as I've mentioned before, the Ranger for Life program is sort of run by the Three Rangers Foundation, but it involves all the organizations because there's just a ton of things that go on. It's not just transition. Probably about 30 or 40% of our workload is basically veterans who have already been out, you know, helping them, you know, do some other kind of stuff. The other part we touch on is the Gold Star program. You know, we try to pride ourselves. We don't do anything that other organizations do well. Scholarship program is a good example. Steve's going to talk about that next, but we do run a Gold Star program, and it's not only Gold Stars, but it's Fallen Rangers. So any Ranger, any family that has lost a dad, whatever that is, killed in combat, killed in training, died of cancer, they're still missing a Ranger dad. So we try to provide that support. A big part of that is the Gold Star Peak, which Caroline and Rick just got back from supporting that. And it's a very emotional event that's run by a guy named Kirk Alkire, who you'll see he'll be inducted as a distinguished member of the regiment tomorrow. You also see Blair get inducted to the Ranger Hall of Fame tomorrow. But and it's, you know, when a Ranger goes down, the next of kin is always, I mean, that's a government policy. The government policy, if you're married, it's going to be the spouse. That's where the resources are. That's who's going to talk to. In a lot of cases, that's who regiment or your battalion talks to. That's who they keep in contact. But there's a whole bunch of people out there. It's like, what about mom and dad? And sometimes they sort of kind of get left behind. What about brothers and sisters and other people? Maybe you were raised by your grandpa or grandma, those kind of things. So what we try to do is fill that gap that the normal Gold Star programs, you know, sometimes don't touch, so that those people won't left behind. Gold Star daughter was who Rick escorted up the mountain. So, you know, that's what we do with the Gold Star program, and again, we work with a lot of different organizations to support that. But you know, again, we're not a membership organization either. We try to do our best when there's an issue out there. A lot of you get a lot of emails from me saying Ranger Joe has got this kind of issue and he needs some kind of money, and the blast goes out, and one of you organizations always steps up and figures it out. So really happy about that. But yeah, any questions for me? I think Steve, you're up.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Steve Parsons. I'm here with Colt Purrier, who's our attorney and board member, and he's going to report back to Ike, make sure I got it straight. Ike said he was going to come on and monitor. Okay, so he'll probably chime in. He's down doing some rehab on the knee. The hip he just had replaced, and we miss him already. This will be the first time in a long time we'll be without him at our award ceremony, which is Thursday at 1100 in the R-Loft, if anybody would like to attend with us. We do merit scholarships, and they're all memorial merit scholarships for Ranger Regiment families. They're active and veteran members of the 75th Ranger Regiment earn the right for their children to get a Ranger's scholarship. And through our partners, through our partners, we also give other educational enrichment opportunities and more merit scholarships. So it's a team it's an absolute team operation, because you'll see shortly the the culmination, or at least the building of what Mike had said, that we wanted to do more with each other rather than continue to do less by ourselves. And so we've tried to inculcate that. The eligibility is 4 years undergrad, 3 years for both spouses and for children. Next slide, please. We're a 501c3 private, no public, we're no affiliation, but we do support the 75th Ranger Regiment, and we have been in business since 2008, which was the 25th anniversary of Regiment Fury. Next slide, please. We have 10 active board members and 11 associate board members. Why is that? We're not an AI company, but we're a scholarship adjudication and assessment process. So we spend the spring going through all our different applications that we get in, and I'll tell you when they need to be in. And we have very experienced rangers that now rack them, stack them, and put them in an order of merit. Excuse me. And based on that, they get a merit-based scholarship of a certain amount. And so all the people on the right-hand side there are associate members of the board, and their primary contribution to us is that assessment process, and they're all pros, and we really appreciate them. Ike is our main point of contact, Eisenbarth. We have 3 people locally, Bill Morgan, Mike Kelso, and Kurt Gupta. They're all here if anybody needs to get contact. And next slide, please. This is my your eyes glaze over slide, but I only want to make a couple of points. Our battle rhythm is January, essentially through the award ceremony, which is more often than not in July. It goes up a little bit more, in June. It goes a little bit into July as we pay our scholars, their partner scholars, and other specialty scholarships that get awarded at the award ceremony. Our application window opens on the first Thursday in January every year, okay? And it closes, and it's a hard close on the first midnight, the first Thursday in February, okay? That's the only thing. We used to have a problem with maintaining the Ranger standard, and old Rangers like to apply the Ranger standard. It doesn't work very well on the template of spouses and children of it. So, but the one thing we hold fast to is by midnight, they need to have it in the mail to our mailbox, and they probably should have a receipt showing that they did it, because if we hear about it later and we didn't get it, that's what we're looking for. So that's the key. And why is that the key? Because that's going to get them their scholarship, and about 99% of the people that apply do get a scholarship. Rarely. This year, 100% are getting scholarships, 131 scholarships. But more importantly, that is their gateway to our partners. And I'm going to tell you more about our partners, but if they apply for us, we have information and can use that information to nominate our scholars to what our partners are looking for, and then they can down select from who we recommend, and that's how the system seems to work. So it's imperative, get the scholarship in by the first Thursday, preferably sometime in January, in February. Okay. That's all. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is our impact as of closing out last year, 2025. It's not bad for a scholarship fund that was formed by 4 Rangers drinking whiskey and Ken Berries down on River Street. And from that, they started their first scholarship in 2009, and they gave $4,500. This year, we're giving $195,000 out, and that's just with our scholarship, and our partners some years match our impact. So the exact numbers for this year will be just under $1.9 million total impact, and about almost 1,400 scholarships to date. Next slide, please. Now this is where this is sort of the meat of my presentation. These are our partners. And these are the people that allow us to extend our impact. These are the people that previously may have had their own scholarships and wanted to use us to help them do it. That's why I say by, with, and through. And we give memorial scholarships, legacy scholarships, honorary scholarships, And then, in the case of software, there's also two very key educational enrichment programs which we'll talk about, which are very helpful. The one exception, I'll just say briefly, as we talk about the soft fund, who's been our oldest donor and one of our biggest supporters in terms of partnership. They have recently started a program that blows away that 1 month window. So it's the VOTEC program, and they'll tell you more about that. But so that's the exception to my rule of get it in, still get your scholarship in, you can get our scholarship and their VOTEC scholarship together. So just very quickly, Hardrock Charlie gives multiple memorial scholarships, 3 Rangers, 9 legacy scholarships this year. The plank holders, a Bravo 275 endowed scholarship, which is the Eldon Bargewell scholarship. They're given 2 scholarships this year. The Marley Foundation might not be one you're familiar with, but they partner with the elements of the soft fund, both SEALs and Army units. And last year we got 9 scholarships from the Marley Foundation for our scholars, $45,000 9 scholarships. That's in addition to the other impacts that were there. Killerman's Sons given 3 this year. They typically give 2 or 3. Fort Brooke chapter and the Smith Station chapters. 75th Ranger Regiment. Each year they've given 3 since they began about 4 years ago. 3 memorial scholarships to Vietnam era Rangers. Mike mentioned Pointe du Hoc. Pointe du Hoc, we give legacy scholarships to the children of people that are working behind the fence currently in 275. The Bukta family memorial, Marcia Bukta Memorial Scholarship Program is a scholarship we awarded our first one last year, and it's essentially a memorial scholarship that's given in honor of Ranger mothers. On Marcia's passing, Kurt and his family wanted to recognize, the impact that Ranger mothers have on their children for whom they are praying for the whole time. So that we do that each year, and that's pretty cool. It's a very private scholarship. It's theirs. The Rangers Patriot Foundation is not a Ranger organization, but it's a North Carolina opportunity for people that are in the North Carolina area. CDS on the lower right has partnered with us to provide honorary scholarship for an employee. And essentially, we have given 5 in the last 2 years. This year, we'll give 2 in honor of Richie Dupree, who was our first of the 75th NCO that the CEO loved, but wouldn't take any money. He said, give it to somebody like the Ranger Scholarship Fund. Brandon Green on the lower right was one of our scholars. He died tragically as he was getting his undergraduate degree. He always wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to serve in the military. So his grandfather, a World War II veteran, and his dad, actually a Battle of the Bulge veteran, and his dad formed the Brandon Green Scholarship to give to a family member that planned to go into the medical field and serve in the military. Tom Lazaro, one on the lower left, is a memorial for, I don't know if you know, Tom Lazaro was one of our board members. He was actually a plank holder, and he tragically lost his son about a year and a half ago to a gunshot accident out on the ranges of Eglin Air Force Base. And they've endowed a family scholarship in his honor each year. And this year we'll give 2 of those. And those are our partners. Next slide, please. And this is sort of a summary. We have 14 partners. We have 23 scholarships, and those are partner scholarships. And then we give out our scholarships. So we see ourselves as the providers of merit scholarships, but that is by, with, and through the team that supports us. And if you looked on that chart, you saw about 5 years ago a giant increase in the amount of money we've been giving in the last years. And that's because of the partner effect and because of the information effect that we get as a benefit through the 3 Rangers Foundation. And I'll be glad to take your questions.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Hopefully that was less than 2 minutes.
Thank you, Wes.
Thanks.
My name is Becky Chambers. I'm the Executive Director of the Special Operations Fund.
I'm joined here today by our president, Dave Cooper, 75 retired from 160th. So we represent the Special Operations Fund. As you can see, our motto is Quiet Fund for Quiet Warriors, so you might not have heard of us. We've actually been around for 34 years. We started out, next slide. You can go ahead to the next slide. So we started out 34 years ago, starting out with just Gold Star programs, specifically to support the 6 special mission units within the Joint Special Operations Command. We expanded over those 34 years. We have merit programs for the family members of any service member that is serving or has ever served in one of those 6 units. Then we have another program that crosses over to both sides. Next slide. So our Gold Star program, and we're very liberal in our definition of Gold Star. Basically, we don't care. They die. That's the important thing. Killed in training, killed in the line of duty, killed in a car accident on the way home, cancer, suicide, even suicides after they've gotten out that the VA determines them to be service connected. We will pick up that family. We also provide these benefits to the family members of Medal of Honor recipients. So we've today given out over 339 Gold Star family member grants, including 59 widows, because we're one of the few organizations that also covers spouses. And it's not just college. It's pre-K. It's college, but it's also graduate school and PhD programs.
Says the stories they told. Oh, it does.
Do I get that time added on for them?
You do.
So it's like I said, it's any type of schooling you want to do, to include VOTEC. Then we have what's called the Rick Woolard Memorial Scholarship. So we've given out 7 today. We'll be finalizing another fall.
I apologize.
It's for the families of a service member who was not married. And it's $20,000 for that family to do something to honor their service member. Anything from, we've had one was a middle school that the family stayed connected with. There's a flagpole now with his picture and a plaque there, and the rest of the money went to dedicate a scholarship for an incoming service member's child to pay their fees for that private school. We've had wrestling mats where the wrestling mat has the 160th logo on it, Sergeant Nick Mueller's name, and that mat is used by the state of Nebraska for their state wrestling championships. So it's we like to tie it to something educational, but we have a lot of leeway in what we can use those funds for. And again, I mentioned preschool. Next slide. So then we started with our merit programs. Like I said, any family member of a service member that has served or is serving. So it starts with our Exeter Summer Program, which is a 5-week summer academy up at Exeter Academy in New Hampshire. It's a summer school, a lot of fun. My son was hesitant to go last year. He's like, I only go if you buy me a computer. I'm like, okay. He went. He didn't know if he wanted to go to college or not. And he came back from that just saying, yes, I want to go to college. He's starting JMU in the fall. So it was a life-changing experience for him. They go between their 9th and 10th, or 10th and 11th, or 11th and 12th grade years. Then the Hugh Shelton Leadership is a 6-day program at the North Carolina State, NC State in Raleigh. Next slide. Then this is the one touched on briefly, which I'm going to add on about later. We have very exciting news about this one. This is our VOTEC scholarship. This is open to any spouse or child of a service member. It's $5,000 a year for up to 2 years. There's no, because these schools can run, they don't have a traditional school year. So spouses and children can apply for this any time of the year, and we have 100% awarded. No one that has applied has been denied. And we've had things like barrier program. What are some of the other?
Underwater welding.
Yes, literally. Spray tan certification, and including the supplies. We had genomic certification testing. And our little scholarship was a drop in the bucket of what that cost, but it did help. We've had NASCAR runs in automotive technician school. Now, that is a one-year program, so we can make an exception to policy. If it's a one-year program, we will give the full 10. We'll do an exception to policy and give the full 10. It's because there is no second year. So it's one of our more successful programs, and it's wonderful. Next slide. Then our college scholarships. The Miller Scholarship is $10,000 a year for 4 years. Miller Scholar is, and if they get the Scowcraft, they can apply for the other programs as well. So the Miller Scholar is $5,000 abroad, $5,000 for a study abroad, either a semester abroad or a summer school type program, but something summer abroad studying. And then the Miller Fellow is $20,000 postgraduate fellowship, where they create some type of program, something they want to go do out in the world to help make the world a better place. They can either do it with an organization, or they can just create a proposal of their own. We had a girl go to Nepal and develop clean water programs. We just had a person come back. He was working with Three Rangers Pharma.
Free Bourbon Ranger.
That's the one. And he just got back from that and went over there and did a variety of things like teaching medical procedures, like bandaging and wounded, very basic procedures to local student family in combat. Set up drinking water stations for families in the area. Just did so much good. And luckily he came back safely. So very happy about that. Next slide. Then this is something that we really need to spread the word in the Ranger community, because we have not had any families take advantage of this to date, which is our learning ability testing program. We will pay for the testing for the students that then TRICARE picks up and pays for the treatment. We will cover the testing. And it can be anywhere from $800 to $3,000. There have not been any Ranger families take advantage of this yet. And it's a very easy program to get. All I need is a referral letter from either the school administrator, the doc within the regiment, their primary care provider, just some type of letter saying this student needs testing for these, like dyslexia or whatever. And that's all we need. And they take the letter to the provider, and we pay the bill. We don't want the results. None of my business. We'll cover the cost of the testing. So please help spread that word. Is there anything you want to say on that?
Yes. As Sergeant Major Hall said earlier, we know the Rangers are smart. I got that. But you're also a younger population. So our unit that's at Bragg, one of the units at Bragg that we cover, older population with children of school age primarily, and those had more than 150 tested. I'm not saying that their kids are any brighter or dimmer than the Ranger children. However, I just know that we can help some Ranger families by providing this testing. That's $2,200 is the average for this test. That's a lot of money coming out of that E7's, right? It just is. And so please let us help you. We're here to help you. And then once that test is completed, then it's up to TRICARE and the local school system to support the child. But the test itself is not covered by TRICARE and must be picked up by the parents. So let us do that for you and for your families. Please. Well, thank you.
We've also done a couple exception to policies for service members that needed to be tested.
Yeah.
So that is also a possibility.
I just had a question though.
Yes.
Is there like anything special you're doing in those school districts to get the referrals? Because I know that I have school age kids even, and I've got an education background. There's like some weird loopholes that you have to jump through as a teacher to get kids tested, and you have to be very careful with how you suggest that they need tested. So I didn't know if there was anything specific that your parents are asking for.
We're gonna let you, the family, do those things. You know better than we do. You don't want that 500-mile screwdriver trying to adjust something, right? So you know about those things, right? We'll let you do that. But again, as Becky said, complaint. We're looking for a letter from the school counselor, school psych, the unit psych, a doctor, somebody probably other than mom.
Yeah.
To write us a referral letter and then we'll pay for that. And we don't, again, we do not want to know the results. I just need the name of the child just to pay for it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't want it. We've got no business. Please let us help.
I do have sample letters, if that helps.
Yes, that would be great.
And a letter can't come from the person that's doing the testing. It's kind of a conflict of interest.
Right.
So, and it's really just to satisfy the auditors. Why would you pay for this? Well, here's the letter.
And are you typically coming from a unit PA or?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then every year we give $50,000 to the 6-unit scholar. Well, we work with the local scholarship organizations for the units we support. So every year we give up to $50,000 in matching scholarships to those organizations. And then, if needed, do you want to talk about availability?
Yes. So, if your Rangers, whether in training or in combat, is severely wounded and needs some help, needs the new ramp, needs something, it's just hard initially for the Ranger or the service member to come up with that money to help themselves. We're happy we've got a $10,000 award, up to $10,000 that we can support that service member with. As an example, the 160th cat that has shot in the leg, picking up Maduro. Came back, he needed a particular kind of bed, believe it or not, to help him recover. And it was $10,000. The family did not have enough for 10 for a new bed for dad. And so we picked that up for him and just had the bed show up. So those are the kinds of things we're talking about. Yes, ma'am.
So question for you, are you comfortable with your organization in a situation like that? You were just getting to work with other organizations as well who might want to offset the cost of other things? Or is it strictly through your foundation for that?
Well, it's through us, but should another organization call us, one of these other organizations call, we're happy to work with you, partner to support that service member or family. Absolutely happy to do that.
Yeah, they've done that before. Who's that kid up in Alaska? The Ranger.
Clarkson.
Yeah, Clarkson, yeah. It was a joint effort. They kicked in a bunch. I think Lead the Way Fund kicked in a bunch. We kicked in a bunch. Yeah, they've done that a lot. We'll be working with other organizations.
We're not up for looking for praise coming back or affirmation. We just want to help that service member.
And we, as a scholarship fund, can help facilitate if there's a need that you think that the soft fund can help you with. Please let us know, and we'll pass it on, see if they can help.
Yep. Okay, this is our new program. We've been working on the grant for this for a while. We just got this, and it's now starting. This is a VOTEC scholarship for recent retirees. So we're starting out saying within the past year, they have retired, they are eligible for this VOTEC scholarship, $5,000 a year, up to $5,000 a year for 2 years. So it could be a total of $10,000. For use at basically anything that's not a 4-year degree. Community college, a 2-year like LPN license or something. It could, we already talked about some of the opportunities within the VOTEC community that they would be eligible for it.
Gunsmithing,
yes, we've had some of those. Your project management certification, eligible for that. This is, like I said, it's brand beta project. We have a set amount of funding right now, so that it's very limited in how many we can offer right now. So it's kind of a first come, first serve. The beta program is established with, we picked the 75th Ranger Regiment and 160th SOAR. So those are the 2 units, only 2 units eligible for this right now. And as it gains, we can show, hey, we had this thing apply right away. We've spent this money. The donor has said, show me this is working, show me this is popular, and there will be more funds available. So we have some flyers.
Recent? 1 year, 18 months?
Yeah. We're pretty flexible, Sergeant Major, so a year.
Well, some guy just figured stuff out for a few months.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So
we're flexible.
I have flyers for the education ladies to take.
They popped out,
They popped out? Okay. So ground form. So I'll give you those afterwards, but, very excited about this. Brand new. This is the first time we've announced it. So we're hoping we'll get a lot of applicants for it, and that it will be successful and beneficial.
Just to be clear, the other VOTEC was for the families, children, and the spouses. This is for the newly retired.
So this is kind of our past, where we are today, and the future. Right now, I have about 173 active beneficiaries, Gold Star children, family members, scholarship winners, people we're paying out money for. We've been, like I said, been around 34 years. We've given out over $21.6 million in support over those 34 years. We had some actuarial work done out through 2050. We're looking at, we'll need about 64 million. Is that what we will have spent? Any questions? Yes.
Got a question. So there's a bunch of former 75th Ranger Regiment NCOs and officers in the Ranger Training Brigade, right? So if they have served in a Ranger Regiment, got assigned to the Ranger Training Brigade, and then retire out of the Ranger Training Brigade, would they be eligible for any of this? And that applies to some of the other organizations as well.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you tell us that they served honorably, right? If, we're probably gonna float that name back down to you to make sure that this is somebody that is worthy of help, right? And I'm just gonna have to take your word on that. All right, you're trustworthy, right? No, I assume.
Or former. It doesn't matter, like in the 160th, they can promote out, but it doesn't matter as long as they were a former 160th and they served honorably, they're eligible.
Good answer. Becky, how about the AP study abroad test program from last year? Is it any, still?
That is, we decided to run one more. So what he's talking about is last year we ran a pilot program for AFS USA. Is a program where students, it's high school students that can go study abroad. There's different programs, different countries, and it's anywhere from Germany to Argentina to Japan to a variety of countries, either living in dorms or living at home. We ran a pilot program last year, had one student from each of the 6 units. There were some lessons learned. We decided to do one more pilot year before we announce it to the full community.
It's going well, just needs some tweaks. So, yeah.
3 great educational enrichment programs you guys have.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this organization, they were in the shadows for a long time because they were part of our headquarters. And I first learned about when I was regimental sergeant major a long time ago, but they finally came out, got their own website years ago. But yeah, I can't interrupt Becky. She's a veteran herself and married to a former Night Stalker sergeant major and command chief warrant officer. Dave is just a member of the Aviation Hall of Fame, Distinguished Service Cross member. Of course, I
don't lead with that.
Yeah, I think. But I've known him for a long time, got a tremendous amount of respect, and of course, us customers, have a great deal of respect for the 160th, and they drive a lot of that organization. But you can find all these educational things either on our education page or there's a combination of working with the education counselors, but a lot of scholarships and a lot of stuff out there. It's just, you just got to go find it. And if Carrie was here, she'd tell you the only people that don't get any scholarship help are people that don't apply for it. So there's just a ton of stuff out there, and sometimes you just got to ask. And there's been a lot of things I've asked of Becky that we don't do that, but we'll do that. So again, another great organization that you don't hear about, but some really wonderful people behind that organization. Okay, next up, I'll put it on you. Next up is the largest and oldest Ranger Association, Brian Halstead, and the I guess maybe former president, U.S. Army Ranger.
So got about 28 hours. I'm Brian Halstead. I'm the current president of the United States Army Ranger Association. And as Mike mentioned, we're the oldest and largest Ranger Alumni Association in the world. We go all the way back. Part of our founding 50 years ago was the original World War II Ranger Association. So long history there. We have two primary philanthropic endeavors. We'll get those in a second. That's our mission statement up there. And one of the things that I want to cover, although it's not really one of our philanthropic endeavors, it's what we do spend a lot of time focusing on, right? Just like everybody in this room, Zoom is no substitute for being in a room full of World Ranger buddies. And that's something we spend a lot of time, effort, and energy trying to bring to fruition, right? So we've got Ranger bases all over the country. We've got 11 regional areas with regional commanders. And a lot of our focus is on trying to get people together. That prevents a lot of some of the bad thoughts and dark thoughts that, we've all seen the statistics on the veteran community. So getting together, being in a room with your Ranger buddies is one of the best defenses against a lot of those ills. So we spend a lot of time, effort, and energy on getting together. Growth, like I said, is our primary focus. The next slide, please. So the Ranger Assistance Program. It is really hard for an old Ranger to reach out and say, hey man, I need help. So we try to make it easy for them. We have, this is one of our biggest spends. Every year we have guys call us up, and I'll just use this one example to kind of as a vignette. If we got somebody who needs help, we don't pay the individual, we don't pay medical bills, and we won't pay for legal fees. But this vignette, guy calls up, he's doing everything right. He's got a job, he's got insurance, but he had a motorcycle accident. And kind of like Affleck, right? Some things weren't covered. He called and said, hey, this is really hard, Brian, but they're fixing to turn the power off on me and my wife and my kids. That day, that same day, we were able to get hold of the power company and make sure that his lights stayed on. All right, that's a lot of that has to do with the Ranger Systems Program Director. We're getting a new one, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Anyone here who may know Command Sergeant Major retired Jose Barreto is coming in. Chaplain Gill, who's been doing it forever. And I do mean forever. That's got to be 1,000 years old. He's great. Full of energy. He's stepping out. They're going to right seat ride for a while. So you'll be seeing the name of Jose Barreto a lot here as we work with him to bring him on board with the Ranger Systems Program. Very, very proud of this. And like the folks that went before us, we have been known to work with other of our sister associations. If somebody comes up, Mike gives me a call, says, hey, we got this guy, can you help? We're going to pitch in. We're always happy to help. Don't need, our name in the marquee lights. We just need to be able to help other Rangers. And that's the Ranger Assistance Program. Next slide. The other big outlet cast we have every year is our scholarship program. And it's generally open to anybody / everybody. We do, in the grading process, there is, we try to tie it to a Ranger, some sort of, was your uncle a Ranger? Was your grandpa a Ranger? Was your dad a Ranger? But for example, this year, we have a very rigorous grading criteria. We had 42 applicants, which is down a little bit from last year. I think we had 53 last year, but we had 12. Try to usually limit it to 10, but with some ties, we're giving out 12 scholarships this year. And they range from $5,000 to $2,000, depending on the individual and where they came in sort of on that order of merit list. Okay, that's it. The next slide, please. Okay. Some of the stuff that's I had a chance, one of our regional commanders had set up an opportunity to go away a wreath of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. I'd always seen it, never thought I'd have the chance to do it. It was amazing opportunity. And that's one of the things that we try to do. This year, an opportunity presented itself again, and we called up some of our members and said, hey, look, I can tell you how meaningful this was. I really think you ought to go try and do it. And anything that we can do to get Rangers together is one of our big focuses. So that was, I had the opportunity, that's me from a couple years ago. The last 2 years, we've had other members go and do that. It's a ton of fun. This is, for those of you anywhere in the defense industry, each year at Soft Week, we have what we call the Patriot Rendezvous. It is one of the biggest events we have each year. About 300 Rangers showed up. I think that was May of 25, here just a month or so ago. Slightly smaller than that, just a little over 200 Rangers showed up. Great night. Got to see people I hadn't seen in 40 years. And that goes back to our mission statement of trying to foster camaraderie between all Rangers, past, present, and future. And that's something I probably should have hit at the beginning is USARA is open to anybody who has earned the right to be called Ranger. Okay, you don't have to have further than Ranger. We got great guys who are in division. We got great guys who are on Special Forces 18. They just never had the opportunity or the privilege of serving in the regiment. And USARA was open to all. And, it's part of the reason I'm with USARA is I really like that big tank concept. We're very proud of what we did. And we have the last piece here. We do big events each year. So in January, we worked with Trent to help with the Black and Tan. We do this big thing in May that coincides with Soft Week. Every year in August, we have the, I'm going to get the right order. It's shoot, eat, drink. And doing the wrong order, stay nice. So Pete has this big farm up in Minnesota. Michigan, yeah. I knew it was an M, it was cold.
Yeah, it's an M.
Fantastic. It's just a ton of fun. It's a great thing to get together. So that's, again, always trying to look for ways to bring Rangers together. We have Ranger bases throughout the country. Most of them meet at least once a month. Some folks meet for a breakfast, and then they switch it up. You know, during football season, they'll meet on a Saturday. They'll yell at the TV about their favorite football team. We leave that up to the commanders. That's our Midwest Region Commander, our outgoing Midwest Region Commander, John Beagle there in the golf course. I want to talk about something that we're trying out, first time, the inaugural, if you will, Veterans Day golf tournament in the greater Tampa area. Veterans Day is a Wednesday, middle of the week on the 11th. So we're working with a local country club there. And if you want to sign up, you can go to our website. There's a place to sign up. You can sign up as singleton or as a pair or as a foursome. I really encourage anyone who's going to be in the greater Tampa area in November to please come. And there's our regions broken down. We also have, I don't think it's on there, international region. We've got quite a few guys in Germany. One of my old buddies is living the dream. He's in Thailand. So we do have, if you're stationed overseas or, working someplace in the intel community or something overseas, we got a place for you as well. And this is the last piece was always, what's the value proposition? Like I said, the oldest and largest Ranger organization, alumni organization in the world. And we do as much as we can to make sure that we get as many Rangers together as we can. And just had getting ready to have over in Germany one of our first big get-togethers with our international regional commander over there. All right, questions?
All right, thanks, Brian.
Yep.
And next up is the U.S. Army Mountain Ranger Association. We've got Keith. We were hoping to get Angela, but we got Keith.
The Mountain Ranger Association appreciates being a part of this meeting because we get a lot of good ideas and stuff out of this thing. I'm Keith Antonia, and in 2001, I retired out of Dahlonega, out of the Mountain Faithful Ranger School, 5th Ranger Training Battalion, after commanding the battalion there, and that's how I got associated with the U.S. Mountain Ranger Association. We're located in Dahlonega. Most of our meetings are held on Camp Frank D. Merrill, but sometimes they're off base as well. We also do the Zoom meetings because we've got members spread across a whole bunch of different states, and we usually have about 10 show up for our Zoom meetings. Our meetings are conducted monthly
Our motto on our logo here, as you can see, is brotherhood and fellowship, and that kind of encapsulates the idea of the Mountain Ranger Association. We started in 1997 by a group of former RIs from the Mountain Ranger camp there, 2nd Ranger Company and 5th Ranger Training Battalion, as a means of getting together for fellowship and brotherhood. Slide. This is our leaders. So we do have a board of directors, I think since 2013. And then we also have officers or an executive committee. I serve as the chairman of the board of directors for the Mountain Ranger Association, and then Bob Williams serves as the president of the Mountain Ranger Association. Next slide, please. This is our mission, and we provide material support. Really, it's help and also funding for things that I'll get into here in a minute. And then we promote brotherhood among all past and present Rangers and their families. But we also have an emphasis on the 5th Ranger Training Battalion and supporting them. Next slide. So again, our eligibility is almost the same as your eligibility. You just have to be Ranger qualified, and that's it. You don't have to have been a Ranger instructor in the 2nd Ranger Company or the 5th Ranger Training Battalion. There are no membership dues whatsoever. There's not even any dues to pay to become a member. Next slide, please. We got about one other thing is we got about 1,600 members or so. Of course, not all of them are active. We got 40 or 50 probably pretty active members, again, spread across a bunch of states in the U.S. Our scholarship program, it's a small scholarship program this year. We only had 3 applicants for our scholarship. 2 of them got $2,000 scholarships each. And the only eligibility is to be a child or a grandchild of a Ranger or a former Ranger. Next slide. Some of the activities that we do to promote brotherhood and fellowship and camaraderie among our members. Every year we conduct this annual Critter Cookout. It's held in conjunction with the Mountain Ranger Camp's open house. So the critters that we had this past May, we had a bear, we had elk, we had wild boar, we had turkey, and we had other food as well. But we had 300 folks show up for that, to include soldiers and Rangers from the 5th Ranger Training Battalion, as well as a whole bunch of old guys and newer guys come in for that cookout for camaraderie, brotherhood, and fellowship. And then we also recognize some of our fallen Rangers during that Critter Cookout, and we award our scholarships during the Critter Cookout. We also do these things. We became a Ranger Hall of Fame voting board member a few years ago, and every year we try to submit 3 highly qualified nominees to the Ranger Hall of Fame voting committee. And then we also raise some funds every year for the past 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years. We've done this Hero Hill Climb, and we raise funds from not only the Mountain Ranger Association, but also Mission 22. Next slide, please. Other assistance, so we do raise funds for other things as well. And so we provide funding for Rangers and their families in need. That could be ex-Rangers or current Rangers, particularly focused on the lower enlisted Ranger. But we've provided, in the past year, we provided some money for the working dogs that might be sent out an email about. We spent $1,700 on an auto repair for somebody who asked for help very confidentially. So we just paid the bill for that auto repair. And just last week or the week before, a Ranger up in Tennessee, a retired Ranger, had his house burnt down, and it was a total loss. So we paid $2,500, which is what his deductible was at homeowners insurance. We also donate to some local organizations in Dahlonega, Georgia, in order to continue the legacy and the honor of Rangers who are living in their community and stuff like that. So we've provided money for the Boy Scouts and Military Museum. They're raising money and funds for right now, Veterans Cemetery, etc. And then we support the 5th Ranger Training Battalion if they don't have TDY money or things like that. For example, we sent 2 RIs, or we funded 2 RIs to go compete in the international parachute competition in Rhode Island last year. And this year we sent an RI to the Swiss Mountaineering School in Annabach, Switzerland, along with, Army ROTC cadets from the University of North Georgia, who went there as well. Also, we've done some other things like funding for the Ranger, training battalion ball, et cetera. Next slide. And that concludes my presentation. Bob Williams is the action person, right? So he runs everything. And I'm just the director of the board of directors, right? So he's the executive person, and that's his contact information. This time I'll take any questions you might have.
You ever support Florida or the guys at Benning?
We do not. But if anybody needs support, we're open to that idea.
They don't have any foundation, do they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, you have Darby Warrior Support Group, and then you also have the Gator Lounge. So they both do very well.
Our mission has evolved over the years since 1997. It's a heck of a lot more involved with that brotherhood and fellowship thing.
If you ever get up to the Lonigan and you want to know the history of the gold rush in North Georgia,
I've been in the creeks to look for gold and had fun.
Next up is one of our newer organizations, Ranger Legacy Foundation, and Mark.
Hey, good afternoon, y'all. Honored to be here. Mark Colossus, board member and treasurer for the Ranger Legacy Foundation. We are 2 years young. We are building this thing while in flight. So things are going relatively well. Again, we've been at it about 24 months. So next slide, please. So our mission is we exist to safeguard and share the enduring legacy of the Ranger community. Basically, a living place where our values, stories, and spirit can be passed along to future generations. Our purpose is to share what it means to be a Ranger, and then have a place to where those stories are preserved and elevates the Ranger way of life. Building a facility of the Ranger Legacy Center somewhere here in the Fort Benning, Columbus area. Next slide. So our value propositions are to provide a permanent home to do the same, right? Provide a place where every organizational missions and stories, contributions, and histories can be preserved and recognized. The success of the Ranger Legacy Center really is to elevate all Ranger organizations and missions. And finally, our final value proposition is for generations to come, provide that location so that our all those stories and contributions, values can be preserved, and for the Ranger way of life, basically. Slide, please. So this is what we're building. All right, we're working on preserving history, cultivating leadership, extending leadership beyond service. A place designed to endure. I'm sorry. An institution, basically a national resource for leadership grounded in character, accountability, and service while providing a cohesive Ranger narrative. Slide, please. So where we're at to date is we've taken care of our stakeholder feasibility, shared vision, which is all this stuff is really led by Ms. Candace Bryant. Most of you, or not all of you, know her, so she's a kind of a force to be reckoned with. We have completed our architectural renderings. Right now, we're working on site selection, and we're entering the third quarter, and that's basically the next 3 months or so. We'll have that locked down, and then the capital campaign planning is currently underway, and working towards starting that process in earnest. And what you see here is kind of what the renderings are showing. We hired a company out of Atlanta, and we have several Ranger buddies who are architects themselves, and they're kind of leading the charge on assisting develop these renderings. Next slide.
So, a couple of years ago, a group of us met in, University of North Georgia, and we had, Ranger representation from the Korean War, the Ranger Regiment, through all three battalions and supporting elements, ARTB, Gold Star parents, uh, Gold Star daughter. We had and a bunch of lifelong supporters of the Rangers, civilians. And so we all came together and developed a shared vision. In that meeting, in that weekend, we also developed what we call the Camel Jacket Society. Some of you might have seen some of the jackets that are kind of starting to show up at Ranger events, especially like evening and social events. Those jackets are assisting to help fund those type of the renderings and things of that nature to kind of move the ball forward until we get into the capital campaign, which we're, like I said, working on in earnest. Next slide, please. This is our board of directors, our chairman is Jeff Struker. Everybody in this room knows him well. We have our legal counsel is Bill Thomas. He's a civilian lifelong supporter of the Ranger community. Myself as a treasurer. And then we have two new board members that just came on board in the last couple of weeks. One is here today, Mr. Bron Connolly, CSM retired National Guard, was inducted in the Ranger Hall of Fame in 2024. And the other new member is Dave Colburn, retired two-star. And I believe he was the lead for Army Finance, so he's going to help us as part of the capital campaign, help lead that charge. And of course, Ms. Candace Bryant, she's the president and the one basically driving this whole process along with Jeff. Slide, please. This is our organization. I'll let you read through it, but of note, we're currently strategizing and working on designing and building an honorary board, getting marketing ambassadors. Again, we're working on that capital campaign plan and also looking to secure some regional reps who we're going to call our rally point leaders. Slide, please. All right, so I won't beat you down with all these bullet points, but basically we're looking for we're working to secure a large footprint of terrain, about 35 plus acres. The facility is going to be about 25,000 plus square foot. It'll have the ability to host probably a battalion ball. It'll be the home of the Ranger Hall of Fame. It will also again preserve the history and legacy of the Rangers, both the regiment and other Ranger organizations out there. Any questions on what it will do or what it will provide? Slide. Right. So some of our goals is to honor our past, preserve freedom through, fostering, and understanding the character traits of what exemplifies Rangers, right? Both the regiment and across the Army, Abrams Charter kind of stuff. A lot of Rangers are out there. That a lot of the organizations that are present here today, they're doing amazing things. There's a lot of Rangers out there doing amazing things out in the wild that are not pulled in, right? They're not tied into us. So those families that come to basic training graduations, some of their family members are Rangers. I'll give an example. I have a family friend that I've known since I was a teenage boy. Been at all our family functions. My parents and his family worked together for a lifetime. And just 2 years ago, he came to one of my barbecues wearing a Lima Company hat. Turns out he worked with General Grange. He was a team leader for Lieutenant Grange, Lima Company of Vietnam. So just goes to show you that he's just alone and unafraid in the wild, getting it done. So a place to come to
like the Ranger Legacy Center will be, something that will potentially bring to light, bring these folks out of the wild. And so over the next couple of months, I won't bore you with this, either, but, over the next 24 months or so, we're gonna, raise funds, awareness, and really, empower our committees, some of our specialized committee to kind of drive our planning and design, to start moving the ball forward. So we should be getting some decent movement in the next 12 to 24. And the impact basically is we are in support of all of what you do. We are going to be a location for Rangers to come and connect, and then support your organizations any way we can, whether it be a place to execute an event like this or anything else. So with that said, I appreciate your time and thank you. Yes, sir.
When do you plan, is it secret? When do you plan on starting the capital?
That is probably in the next month and a half. Yes.
Hey, Mark, something that caught my eye, trying to preserve that history. This goes also for everybody in this room. All my members are aware that, over at the hotel, we have a witness for war. So this guy who has set up a recording studio, and he's trying to capture each person's story. So my thought is he's got people lined up and all that. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to share that with you guys, as that's part of preserve that history. So I would encourage everybody. I've got his business card. If you want to give him a call, go over there. He's here till I think Friday morning. Go over there and sit down and tell your story. It'll be recorded, and last forever. And so that might be something that you guys want for your history, the aspect of preserving history.
We'll do it. I'll come by and see.
Candace is, in fact, Candace has met with,
Already has.
Director, witness award director, talked about that, so this is great.
Perfect. Good tie in. Thank you.
Mark, you did hopes to have that, facility built in the, Columbus, city area.
They're working right now to finalize that location. I think they have a couple that they're working towards, and I think Candace and Jeff just have to finalize that final decision, and I think we're within weeks of that.
They're doing their due diligence to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, that there's no unforeseen expenses in the two that they're looking at.
Good stuff. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, speaking of, the two former Rangers, Sergeant Major of the Army, who also have former Sergeant Major of the National Guard here also. Next up is the Worldwide Army Rangers, and my old Ranger buddy from Old Scroll, Bruce Cleveland from A Company 175 is gonna speak. Bruce.
All right, there's our purpose right there. Perpetuate the esprit de corps of the Ranger operations community.
I did.
Now, I'm not going to insult your intelligence. You can read that. This is what we do. I know you've been in the meetings. I'm at the tail end, and everybody's anxious to go. So that's our purpose. And next slide. And this is what we provide. This is some of the things that we do. We do a lot. We spend a lot of time out with the Ranger Training Brigade. We spend a lot of time out at the Ranger Regiments. We're there as a physical presence to try and build a better Ranger community by being on the ground. Again, as you can see by the slide, these are the things that we do. And we interface with all other Ranger organizations. We try to help out, Rangers helping Rangers. That's the bottom line. So if any of y'all out there paying attention to this want to help us out, we always look forward to your assistance. Questions?
Carry on that for Bruce and Phil and Jared. Every Thursday.
Donations.
In front of these Ranger students, and it's really good as far as these Ranger students.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time talking to the Ranger students.
Of course, you're out there at any of the events. They come to every Ranger grad. And they're just, always a positive light out there at the Ranger School for these students. I mean, it's an opportunity for every association. It's not just for them. You just have to make that clear.
All right, guys, I know it's been a long day, so I'll turn it over to the next guy.
Thanks, Bruce.
You're welcome.
Okay, next up, last year we had the first Ranger Legacy Cruise. We got the next one coming up, heading towards Alaska. So Chris is going to tell us a little bit about that. Chris?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep.
CSM, thanks for having me on here again. Good afternoon, everybody. Chris Doonan, former Ranger 175, RHQ, RSTB, RRC. As CSM Hall alluded to, we had the first Ranger cruise in 2026. We went to the Caribbean, and I had a phenomenal time, as I think everyone did. Bottom line, it's a family vacation with some Ranger buddies. So it was a extraordinary event. I got to drink coffee or spirits and break bread with guys that served in Vietnam. Obviously, members of the Ranger community from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the GWAT. So it was, to say the least, an extraordinary time, and got to do all that with my 3 children and my wife, and meet all these other Ranger families. Next slide, please. Obviously, this is the kind of where we're going, or the path we're taking. As I said, 26 in Caribbean, 27 in Alaska, 28 Norway and the Northern Lights, 29 the Mediterranean, 30 South America, and 31 Asia. And these obviously were thought up by members of the people that participated in 26. Next slide, please. 27 Alaska, we're offering 2 different packages this year. One is a 10-day, 3-day land event, and then 7-day cruise. And also the second package is just a 7-day cruise. Next slide. Obviously, that's a link to the website. We won't go to that right now. But bottom line, the Ranger Cruise is a family-friendly event, but it's also an event that you can catch up with your Ranger buddies on a cruise ship and see some of the most amazing destinations in the world. One of the things that we're doing is, obviously, this community makes you a better human being, pushes you further, makes you do better things. The Ranger Cruise, we'll get to see extraordinary places that some of us might not have normally gone to if it wasn't for the Ranger Cruise. So I hope to see you on board. Sign up for 2027 Alaska has already started. Please reach out to me day or night, and let's get everyone signed up and see you on the ship.
I think, Chris has got everybody's, or I provided him with, I think, everybody's email address. So, I hope y'all will send this out to your everybody that you have contact with, because some people are in some organizations. So it really was a great time. Talked to some. I'm sort of an old guy, but I talked to some guys that I had no idea some of the things they had done, especially during Vietnam and some other kind of stuff. But it was a great time. We're definitely going again this year. So.
Okay, 1 second. Chris, did you hear that? What are the dates?
So January 3rd for the land event, and then the cruise starts off on June 15th. There's an itinerary on the website. I'll also email that stuff out. But looking forward to the 2027. It will be a phenomenal event.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. And he happens to run a travel company. He's not making any money. He's doing this because it's to bring Rangers together. Second to last up, I'm going to bring up Art Attaway, who is the the organization's not really mature yet, but he can tell you a little bit about what he's trying to do. Art, you still here?
It's not very mature, but it's been around for 7 years. I started it right before COVID. We started it in Dahlonega. We on Veterans Day weekend started so our mission is to support everybody else. Our goal is to run fundraising, execute fundraising events that we can pass all the funds on to every organizations here that has programs. We don't want to recreate programs and be redundant and add things. We just want to make money to help run the association. I was the vice president of USARA for 4 years, and during that time I realized the associations are not fundraising machines. You know, they're just not set up for it. Then I was the president of the 75th Ranger Regiment Association for 4 years. So that 8 years, I didn't really focus or dedicate a lot of time to making this thing what it should be or could be. Rick took over last year, the Regiment Association, and I decided to make a full-fledged commitment to do something with this thing. Later this year, we're running a half marathon and a 5K in Savannah, and Sua Sponte will be the beneficiary of that. Every March, we run an event here in Columbus called the Heroes of America, which was formerly the Soldier Marathon, and it's full marathon, a half marathon, and a 5K. And going forward, GallantFew will be the sole beneficiary of those funds. We're doing something in conjunction with Ranger Base Kinney down in Floribama next week, actually, on the 250th anniversary. And Ranger Base Kinney will be the beneficiary. And we have a number of things we're adding and going forward with. I've got a whole long list. I've been talking to Hardrock Charlie about an event with them to benefit that organization. And then I'll get around to everybody like our beloved here. But I say we haven't done much. We've sort of been quiet. We did start the restoration project on the National Ranger Memorial Monument and made a major contribution, I believe, to getting it back to where it is proud, something that represents us proudly. Last year, we were able to raise $17,000 for the Joni Clausen estate. I don't know if everyone knows Joni, but she was a daughter of a Merrill's Marauder and was the ambassador for all Merrill's Marauders for probably 20 years. She's Sheila Dudley of the Merrill's Marauders community. We helped with the equine therapy program for the Mountain Ranger Camp when we lost a couple of students. They lost a couple of students a couple of years ago. Although Carl pointed out that's not a real therapist, but Mr. Ed. We raised money 4 or 5 years ago on a bicycling event that we have that was also in conjunction with GallantFew, and we helped 6 Gold Star foundations in about $8,000. So we haven't been doing nothing, but it was not a focused and dedicated effort. And going forward, Mike will have us up on the slide presentation next year because we'll have something to really show. But this speech is discombobulated because I don't have any slides, and the organization has been discombobulated because I haven't spent the time. But OnPoint 1-1. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks. And next and last up, General Keene's going to give us a little update on Ranger Hall of Fame.
I thought it'd be beneficial for minutes if we got this great gathering rarely had in the past to just tell you where we're at with the Ranger Hall of Fame. So the Ranger Hall of Fame board is going into its 35th year of existence. So those you might not know the history of it, started in 1992. And through that course, the bylaws of that the Ranger Hall of Fame have matured. And Travis West is instrumental in really formalizing our bylaws, and we've had in the last few years we've had a couple a couple adjustments to it. The most recent adjustment to or change to the Ranger Hall of Fame bylaws you're going to see happen tomorrow is that we've gone from the maximum 15 inductees annually into the Ranger Hall of Fame down to 10. That was a vote of the board because if you go back and talk to those who studied Ranger Hall of Fame, we started with 15 to basically catch up for the years we never had a Hall of Fame and the World War II in Korea, etc. Merles Marauders. We felt that we were at the point in history where that really is not needed anymore, and the board voted to go to 10. So we'll have 10 inductees this year. And just to let you know, the Ranger Hall of Fame board consists of 10 members by our bylaws, and those 10 members are the 4 Ranger Association membership organizations, all of which brief here today, as well as 2 at-large members and the commander and command sergeant major of the ARTB and the 75th Ranger Regiment make up the 10 membership board. The Ranger Hall of Fame is not a nonprofit organization. It's basically just a board. And we exist through the generosity and support of the Ranger Association membership organizations, as well as the National Ranger Association. They give a hefty donation each year to give us the budget that allows us to put on the dinner that we have tonight for those members being inducted and our family members, which they're able to come and attend that free, as well as everything that goes into the Ranger Hall of Fame. And myself and our Ranger coordinator are the 2 non-voting members of the board, and Candace Bright, I think as most of you know, Candace Bright served as a Ranger Hall of Fame coordinator, and Carolyn was before her. And if you go back before that, we never had a Ranger Hall of Fame coordinator. We really existed through the work of the Ranger Regiment and the Ranger Training Brigade. Some legal reviews over the last few years. Basically, the regiment and ARTB had to basically divorce themselves from the Ranger Hall of Fame in terms of any material support, which was actually the S5, the Ranger Regiment, and ARTB was doing a lot of work to make this happen. A lot of that has shifted, well, virtually all of it's shifted to the Ranger Hall of Fame coordinator. Carolyn took that on initially, and now Candace does that full time. It's a volunteer position, of course, but I just wanted to give you a quick update, let you know, because you're going to see obviously a reduced number getting inducted tomorrow, and that's sort of the history of it and where we stand. Anybody wants it, if you don't have a copy of the current Ranger Hall of Fame bylaws, you want a copy, you can obviously reach out through the association, but to myself or Candace, and we'd be very transparent in giving you a copy of the bylaws and how they exist. Anybody ever has a question? I get questions all the time about inductees and qualifications and emergency. I missed the window of getting an application in, and we're able to. But any question you have, I'm more than happy to address.
But I appreciate everybody's cooperation, mostly GallantFew, and it's a good thing Tony wasn't here because Candace did a much better job on setting things up this year. But but for hosting us here at the Rock, I hope everybody got something out of this. And Courtney, I'll turn it over to you and your team for any questions or comments, and we'll walk out of here.
I just appreciate everybody coming and doing this, and I don't have any questions right now, but I'm sure I will have such in a couple days. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I would encourage you. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I mean, if you haven't spent time with Courtney and her team, to maybe find some more time to learn things, I would encourage you to do that. So yeah.